In Luke 15, Jesus says, if a man has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others in the wilderness and go out and search for the one that is lost until he finds it? Now, if we read that carefully, we're so encouraged because we see that Jesus cares for us and that he is always watching over us. If we get off track, we understand that he comes looking until he finds us. It's so reassuring to know that we're not on our own, that we are never alone. Just this morning I read about a young boy who became lost in a large crowd at a local pageant. He was excited about the floats and he was excited about those who were marching. Then he was excited about the lollies that were being given to children, so he followed along, not even giving a thought about his family. His dad, however, began to follow him. Even though he was a little way away, he was at a bit of distance, he was trying to keep up. Suddenly the young boy looked around and he couldn't see his family. His heart sank and he began to panic. But in just a few moments his dad caught up with him and he reached out and hoisted him up into the safety of his strong arms. You get the picture. The passage goes on to say that there is rejoicing in heaven when one person repents and turns to God. Have you ever thought about that? When we come back to God, there is excitement in heaven. Now that tells us that we're not on our own. Who we are and what we say and do, where we go and how we live out our life reaches right to heaven. That should put a different light on our life, what we do with it and how we manage it. Of course, we are called to be like Jesus in how we live out our life. That means then if we see someone who looks lost, then we should help them, as it were, find their way back to where they belong. Now that's a challenge in itself. Too often we do not want to become involved. Again, too often we see people who are in deep need, but we don't want to get alongside of them. Well, why would we? Because they're different to us. We can't relate to them, or we just simply don't have the time. Now, everyone's busy. We live in a busy world, but we're reminded that when we sense those gentle nudges from the Holy Spirit to go and speak to someone or to give them a call, just do it. We certainly will not always see the outcome, and we may not see any actual results until we get to heaven. But how amazing would it be to meet someone in heaven when we get there and have them say to us, thank you. Thank you for telling me about Jesus. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your words. Without your words, I might still be lost. The simple point is that everyone is important to God. Everyone. And he calls us to be his ambassadors even now. That's a challenge, but one worth thinking about. Have a wonderful week.